Good evening. How are you guys doing? I wanted to jump on here real quick tonight. I got some time tonight. My wife's already in bed. I was asleep. Grayson's with his biological father, so I wanted to jump on and just talk to you guys for a little bit, kind of catch up with you. What a crazy busy week it's been book-wise. So what I got going on is I pulled my book from Ingram Spark, so there's that. And like I said, if anybody does not know what Ingram Spark is, they're an aggregator. So let's just say Target.com wanted to buy my book, or Walmart.com wanted to buy my book. They would go to Ingram Spark, most likely, or they go other places too, but Ingram's a big one that where they could get my book, put it on their site type of deal. That's just an example, but they distribute wide, and they supposedly they distribute to over 40,000 retailers across the entire world, which includes brick and mortar stores and things like that. But for some reason, I could not get and I can't remember if I actually touched on this or not in one of my other videos, but I was not able to get them to approve my hardcover cover, like my hardback book cover. The interior was good, but for some reason they kept not approving me and rejecting my cover. And I think it's easy to say it's them, but in this particular case, I think it actually is them. This is my very first time working with them. But after about 15 different times of trying to go through the motions, literally over the past few months, that's how long I've been like on this journey trying to get my book uploaded with them. They keep rejecting my cover, and the final time that I was like, okay, this is it. If they reject it this time, I'm going to ask to have my title pulled from distribution with them, because obviously I don't want a book that doesn't look right going out into the world, so I'd rather be safe than sorry. I can always upload later, but just to be safe than sorry, I did not want my book going out to the world with a jacked up cover. So but the final time that I was able to get their template from them, so this is the only time that this happened, but it kind of was like an indicator that the problem might actually be in their file on their end. And I tried explaining this to them, and it was kind of like going in circles. They just kind of kept sending me to like the help discussions and answer sections of their website, which was okay, whatever. But when I got their file and I put it in a Canva, this was the only time that this did this, but it really, like I said, it kind of showed me what might actually be the problem, which is their file, because I was doing the exact same thing for the paperback as I was the hardcover. And when I dragged and dropped the file template for the 8.5 by 5.5 cover for the hardback, when I drug that into Canva, it had an exclamation point with a triangle, and Canva wasn't recognizing their file, and it never did that before. But it was weird because like I'd bring their template in, and I would be able to save it through Canva, but then Ingram Spark would never be able to process and approve that file. Now when I get their template and file, now Canva's not approving their file that I'm putting in there. So it's just been insane. I thought about maybe trying to reformat the book into a different size. And as much as my formatters helped me, I've done so much of this formatting process on my own. I've changed a lot of things. The little pine cone image that I had, I actually changed that to a different pine cone. So I've actually like learned quite a bit about formatting on my own. just a lot of stuff going on this week. But what prompted all this book work at the last second, literally weeks before release, was I was doing a read through to you guys of the first chapter, and I noticed a few, I don't want to say errors, but words that just didn't sound right out loud. So I guess in a way that they're errors. It's just like if I took out this word, then it sounded right, but if I like took an S off the word, then I didn't have to change anything. It was just weird stuff like that didn't sound right as I read it out loud in my final read through. And thank God I caught all that stuff. At first I was pretty frustrated to have to do all this book work so close to release day, but it's actually a really good thing, and I'm actually very, very grateful that I was able to catch all these mistakes and errors and all this stuff to really fine tweak the book the way that I wanted and change out a couple things, because I noticed on my proof copy the pine cone image that I've shown on here before. I'm pretty sure I've shown it on here or Instagram. That was kind of like a nod to my dad. That was important to me to get right and to be crystal clear. And on the Amazon proof copy, it was there. Like when you look at it from a distance, it looks okay. But when you kind of put it to your face, you kind of go, huh, that's kind of weird. Like it almost looked like very pixelated. And I was like, that's weird. Like maybe the file just didn't take right with the printer or something. And then I went back into my files, and I actually had to zoom in a little bit, and I noticed that the images were actually pretty pixelated. I'm not exactly sure why that was, because everything that I save off of Canva, I save it at 2.5 times and the highest quality. So even the image itself that looks really good, I do a much bigger size, so that way I can condense it down, so that way it never loses its quality. And an image going from this just to right here shouldn't do that. So I had to go in and figure out how to change all my images, and I ended up going with, I think, a better looking pine cone anyway. And I think it just fits the flow of the story. As strange as this sounds, it fits the flow of the story a little bit better. The one that I had with the branch and little pines and the pine cone, I liked it, but I never was 100% sold on it. And then now I put one in, and it's just a pine cone. There's no leaves or branches or anything, and I'm 100% happy with it. I like it a lot. And then I also added in a few other images in the book. I added a pumpkin in one section, and then I added in the owl, an owl in another little section. So just minor images. I thought about, doing some sort of image on every chapter header, where it says chapter 1, chapter 2, and putting a little image. And it is a little bare in the book, but I don't know. I think that the subtleties of every now and again you get a little illustration. I think that that's really cool, because I do plan on doing, after the series is complete, or at least towards when the series is complete, I do plan to do, depending on how much I can afford and exactly how to go about that scenario, but I do plan on doing an illustrated version of each book. I saw Harry Potter do that, and I absolutely in love with their illustrated versions, and they have so many different versions of Harry Potter, and each version's really cool, and they always have great cover art, but the illustrated versions are really, really something. And that just, man, I was like, that would be really cool to get an illustrated version of my book for each one, and probably do that closer to when I have the series complete, or when it's actually all complete. I got big dreams. I'm not gonna lie. I see things in the future that I hope come into fruition, and that's what I'm working towards. I've even seen a little bit of a little box set. I don't even know who does stuff like that, but I'll learn as I go, and hopefully bring all this stuff into fruition one day. But yeah, that's where I'm at this week. It's been, honestly, it's been pretty hellacious. I've barely gotten any sleep. Um, just trying to make sure I got the right cover. The cover also, I brightened it up a little bit. I actually made the white a lot more whiter instead of like a grayer. So the cover will be more white than gray, which I wanted in the first place. So, and then, yeah, I did the images. Also, there's two sections of my book, I'm not going to say exactly what they are, that I always wanted to be different font than the rest of the book. And, well, one part I'm really happy with, and the other part I'm really, really happy with. I'm really happy with both of them, but the one was a little bit less stressful than the other. One part I actually had to install an entirely new font because I fell in love with this font. It's actually the font that I use for Mangled Monsters, my publishing company, that cursive. And I wanted to use that particular font in the back of the book on a very specific thing. And I fell in love with it, and I knew that there was a way. I just had to keep chipping away and keep chipping away at figuring this out. And I've been working for weeks trying to figure this out. So I did have final files uploaded to Amazon just in case I wasn't able to figure this out for some reason. And I was at a point where I was literally even just creating stuff in Canva, picture-wise, to try to like bring over into my book. And then that was causing all kinds of issues and nightmares because when you bring like an image into Word, anybody that uses that knows how that goes. All the shit gets shifted and pages get shifted. And when pages get shifted and you're writing a book, things don't align the same way. Like if you wanted this particular thing on a certain page, now that just got shifted one page. So, I had to be extremely careful about what I was doing and pay very, very close attention and literally go back over and go back over and go back over every little change that I was making. And I did notice a few things. I noticed that there was like the numbers, like 21, 22. It was weird. Like it's weird because it wasn't like this before. But like when I would do certain things, like the numbers would all shift to one side. So like page 21 would be over here, and then like page 22, instead of the number being over here, would be over on this side of the page. It was just like really weird stuff like that. Two of the chapter headers, like when you got to chapter 3, it said chapter 2. Just weird stuff that kept tweaking as I kept tweaking certain things. None of that stuff should have been like affected, but for some odd reason it was. Could be me, could be the formatter that did certain things and she did things a certain way and that worked for her at the time of, and now I'm going in and changing things and it's just shifting shit all around. So, but yeah, it was really important for me to get that final text, that final font in the book, this cursive handwriting. It was very, very important to me that I get that. And like I said, I've been working for a while on that. And I actually just needed to literally go through Google and literally install the font into the system, validate the font so that it can be usable, and upload that up into the computer. And at first it wasn't even working. And then I realized like I just had to like restart the computer and then it was there. So it was just like I said, a very hellacious process. And this whole week and a half, almost 2 weeks now, it's just been crazy. Like literally proofreading, revising almost the entire book, and just really fine-tuning it. Yeah, it was frustrating at first, but then when I sat down, talked to God, and really I thanked Him for setting me back, because I would have been really upset if I put a book out into the world that was in the shape that it was. And it was kind of eye-opening because I've already worked so hard on it to get to that point, but to have so many changes right at the end it really opened my eyes to how important, like, taking a step back and then coming back to it really is. Because you do see things on every single time you're going through the book, and combing for problems and errors and typos and stuff like that, when you're really looking for that stuff. And I would only do like 2 or 3 chapters a day, just to really stay focused on it, and then I'd put it to the side and then come back, and yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's what's going on. It's been crazy. I'm getting my website up and running. I posted a little behind the scenes video on my Instagram of me working on that. I think I'm gonna post another little snippet too, because I got some of my prints on there, and I'm learning so much more, like through graphic design and stuff. And I what's really cool is I learned how to, and I've always wanted to do this. I know how to like put a border on a photo when it exits Lightroom, but like then you have the basic 2D image on like a flat web page, and then I took that into Canva, and then I was playing around with graphic design tools, and then I was able to do like the shadow where it's almost like the image is like lifted off the page. And I actually been doing that with my Wisteria teasers and like little promo arts and stuff. If you notice, the actual like text looks like it's pulled off a bit from the image, almost giving it like a 3D look, like an in-depth look. It looks really cool. So where was I? So I learned how to do that with the photos, and it looks really cool. It looks like the print is lifted off, it's crystal clear, and it has like the shadow around it. It looks so cool. I'm so proud of myself for learning that today. Because I was doing it with the letters for like I said, with the Wisteria stuff, and then I'm like, well, can I do it with, maybe I could do it with a photo too? And I'm like, oh shit, I can't. So yeah, it's the more you know. I don't know, just trial and error, experimentation, learning as much as I can. But yeah, like I said, I kind of wanted this video to just be like a little bit of a catch up, and also I kind of wanted to like dive, and I just dove into it a little bit, but dive into kind of the message of like chipping away at something and not giving up on it, because I was this close to giving up on trying to get that cursive text in the back of the book. I was trying so many different things, and yeah, I was just beating my brain, staying up till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, having to get up at 4 or 5. It just really crazy stuff. But I figured it out, and yeah, I'm very glad I didn't give up, and I kept chipping away and overcoming the challenges of the past like week and a half of just insane book work. So where I stand right now is my hardcover interior is completely final. I have to go in and do the exact same changes that I made there on my paperback, which isn't a lot. It's actually just changing the images out, and I know how to do that now, like a very easy way. I can actually just go in and change the picture, so I don't even have to like delete an image where the text gets all messed up and then put it in again. And that was a whole nightmare. I had to learn and experiment and really figure that out, but I finally understand, and I got it. I'm able to basically swap an image. I figured that out, which is incredibly helpful, because if you try to take an image out of Word, it'll condense all the text, and then when you go to put another image in, it messes everything up. So so much learning. Yeah. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So I have to do the paperback, minor edits to the images, get that done, and then interior for the paperback is done. Those will be done. I got to send my, then I'm going to send the file to my formatter and ask her to make an EPUB file of either the paperback or the hardcover. I guess it really doesn't matter. I'll probably just go hardcover because it's a little bit bigger. That way, if it's condensed down, it should look okay. But so she can make an EPUB file for me, which is the ebook version. At first, a little behind the scenes note, I wasn't even gonna do an ebook at first, because I seen the way like kind of digital media, and we all use digital media, right? Like I'm using it right now, but I'm a huge supporter of physical media as well, and I never want that to die off. It's why I'm such a promoter of like in-hand stuff and just, yeah. So at first I wasn't even going to do an ebook, and then I was like, do people even really read ebooks? Everybody, basically there might be like one person I know that actually has a Kindle and reads ebooks, but then when I was doing a lot of research online, I found that there's a lot of people who can't get, they have no stores around them, they can't get physical copies. Amazon might not deliver to them, but they're able to download an e-file so that they could read a book. That there's a lot of issues like that where things don't get delivered, but they're able to just simply download something. And then there's also, doing more research, I also learned that there's a lot of people with disabilities who, who can't hold books, who have to have them either, they have to read them on screens, or they have to have them like on the screen and like read aloud and all kinds of stuff. So that's when I kind of was like, you know what? I definitely need to make the ebook for this because it's important that everybody kind of can get the book, as much as I like the physical and I'm promoting that, I definitely want people to, especially if they're not able to obtain a physical copy, I definitely want to have an option for them. One day I would love to have audiobooks made of my books, of Wisteria, and then, my books that I'm currently working on. I think that would be amazing, especially for this series in particular. But I don't, at least as of right now, I don't have, I just don't have the funds for that right now. I've seen a lot of people online do, like they go through different avenues, different sites, stuff like that, different companies, and one author in particular that I follow and I really enjoy her videos. She's kind of like I guess it's called like a hybrid author now. Self-published her books, but then her audiobooks got picked up by someone. I believe it's like the same company that put out like The Martian and stuff like that, which is really cool. And that's just really cool to see, like people, like even when you're self-published, traditional publishers want to come, or like companies want to come and like offer you, to do your stuff for you. So it's no charge to you, but obviously they'll own a little bit of that right, but that just means you're collecting royalties after a certain amount of time, and I don't know, it's cool both ways. But like I said, I went to self-publishing that for a lot of different reasons, and I actually plan on making a video on self-publishing, specifically because there's a lot of reasons why I did choose to go self-publishing instead of the traditional route. And I touched on this before when I started my LLC. Was a big thing was the freedom of speech, but there's a lot of other reasons why I wanted to go the self-publishing route in particular. But that's a different video. But yeah, I just wanted to catch up with you guys. I'm probably gonna head to bed soon. It's been a long day. Worked on the book a lot today and worked on a lot of other stuff. Mother's Day is this weekend, so I'm doing stuff like for that. I was working with my daughter today, doing a really cool sentimental thing for my wife. So I gotta frame those. But I'm trying to think. Did I leave anything out? Probably gonna order some more bookmarks. Probably order some more sticker packs. The Wisteria wall print, I'm probably going to. I might order like 5 to 10 of those. It's a very expensive thing, but it's also expensive to have printed because it is done in a lab. It is a poster, and it's sent to me. That's why it's $40 on my website. I'm not even making any money on that. I might be making literally like $1 or $2 on that after the shipping costs and everything. But I really wanted to like sell that at cost. I just want to get it into your guys' hands, especially if you become fans of the book. But probably next week or the week after, I'm probably going to start setting up back here, just kind of putting up like a table and kind of having everything on there. So, yeah, it's getting really, really close to the release day. It's kind of crazy. One thing with Amazon is I'm not allowed to I can't order author copies, which is the copies that I would use to either donate or like sell on my website. So and anybody who's ordered with them knows this, but if you don't know this, like I can order my proof copies and they'll have the not for resale banner across. But I'm not allowed to order my actual author copies, the copies that I'll be selling on my website, until the day of, until like that like the day my book is actually published. And I'm pretty sure that it would just kind of go live at like midnight on May 31st. So what I'm going to immediately do is probably just place an order for anywhere from probably like 20 to 50 books of each, paperback and hardcover. I might start with 20 books of each and kind of go from there. And then that way they're already bought, shipped, and if I do it that early in the morning, though, they're already going to start working on that. And then Amazon usually has pretty fast shipping with stuff like that, especially with the Prime deals and the shipping, all that stuff. I was never really a big Amazon user until recently, so I'm learning all this stuff as I go. But May 31st, as soon as midnight hits, it's going to be really cool. I'm going to kind of take that moment in, but then I'm also going to get immediately jumped on to the website to start ordering the author copies for myself, so that way when I know a few people who are going to buy it off the website, they get the signed copy and the free bookmark, that I'm going to be able to turn around and get that out to them as quick as possible. Because unfortunately I won't be able to actually have any books on hand. That's what I was hoping to go with Ingram Spark for, was so that way I could like order like 20 to 50 copies of my book and like have them on hand and like already ready to go on day of. I can literally just go to the post office type deal, but unfortunately with Amazon, it doesn't work like that. So there'll be probably a few extra days of the shipping time frame between like when you order my book. I have to wait for it and then send it out to you, which I will definitely let everybody know. But yeah, just it's crazy, just the whole process of learning everything. But yeah, it'll be really, really cool to see my book without the actual banner on it, because when it goes live for you guys, that's when it actually goes live for me, and then I can order my copy without the banner on it. So we're gonna see it literally together for the very first time. So but like I said, if you guys don't want to order it off my website and you guys don't want to wait the few extra days, order it off Amazon. I'm sure it'll get you guys like super quick. So either way, I just hope that you guys enjoy the story. Yeah, I'm just it's been a lot this week. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of, once I get this paperback version finalized and put up onto Amazon, I'm hoping to do that probably tomorrow or Saturday. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I know I am. I'm just gonna work through it, get it done, so that way I head into the weekend with a clear mind. Man, I've been, yeah, like I said, I've just been working very, very hard at it, and I'm just kind of burnt on it. I'm like, man, I've been like working so hard on it. I'm just kind of burnt. Like I'm still working on the story over here, and I'm just kind of like, I don't even want to look at that right now. I still have my ideas, and I still write down things for stories and all that. But I actually almost wrote an entire short story the other day. But um, um, yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is after I get that paperback finalized, I'm just gonna kind of take a break from writing for a few days and probably head into the garage and probably work on some Be Good stuff. I got my circuit blocks coming out this month on the shop, so I'll probably do like some behind the scenes videos for that, and I'll just start jumping on that. And I like that I'm able to kind of jump from one thing to the next, and that's just kind of like how my brain works. Because I've really learned and really found out with myself that when I try to just kind of like beat the dead horse of like either it's writer's block, and it's not about sitting down and like being lazy or something, you know, having legitimate writer's block where you just don't have the ideas flowing to you. You're sitting here, you're waiting for them to come, but nothing's coming, or you're just like incredibly burnt out, and you need a time away. You need a day away or 2 days away from the writing, so you can come back with a fresh mindset and eyes. So that's where I'm gonna go do some Be Good stuff, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Wow, video's over 30 minutes. Let's make my longest video yet. And I'd honestly just plan to catch up and just talk a little bit, but here I am going on forever like I usually do. Yeah, I'm gonna head to sleep. I hope that you guys have a good night, and I hope that you guys have a good weekend. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the promotional material that I've been putting on my Instagram. And I know YouTube's a different a different platform. I love YouTube, but and I don't know who's really a fan of Instagram or whatever, but I do post little snippets of behind the scenes stuff, pictures, little videos on my Instagram that never that don't make it to YouTube. So if you are interested in like a more behind the scenes process or like pictures and little videos and stuff like that, definitely check out my Instagram. I post there actually quite a bit, definitely a few times a week. And that's also where I've been posting like little teasers, and I post them on here as well, but teasers on there, and then also promotional like photos and stuff. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a good night. Have a good weekend. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.